And while the city's general counsel mulls over the looming legal issues surrounding Sheriff Williams' move to Nassau County, there are calls for his salary and retirement to be paid back to the taxpayers if lawyers determine Williams vacated his seat last spring. Tark Miner's joining us now with more. We continue to look into this and look for some of those answers.
Yeah, and Northside Coalition President Ben Frazier says that this is now an issue of trust, an issue of transparency and accountability to the people of Jacksonville. He says Sheriff Williams violated that trust, and he wants the sheriff's salary and retirement contributions returned to the city if the general counsel finds he indeed vacated his job. We asked the local lawyer about these kinds of demands.
This sheriff needs to understand that he is not above the law, that he's just like the rest of us.
Northside Coalition President Ben Frazier says Jacksonville Sheriff Williams appears to be in denial about the Jacksonville City Charter, which states the sheriff must live in Duval County, and if he moves out of it, he has vacated his office. In the last few days, Williams revealed to the public he moved to Nassau County last spring. Frazier says taxpayers are owed the salary the city paid him if the general counsel determines Williams vacated his office.
I think that there are several questions that are going to come up. Some of those questions involve promotions, disciplinary actions, contracts that he has signed, his own salary, his own retirement, and perhaps there's going to be a need for some type of legal settlement.
Frazier says Williams moved to Nassau County without informing anyone, violated the public's trust, and he's demanding an investigation into who knew what and when. We asked attorney Ted Delagal, who once served as an attorney to the local police union, if Frazier's demands that portion of his salary must be given back are legitimate.
Well, there are legitimate questions. I'm not sure if they're entitled to get their money back or what, if he could be successfully sued. He was performing some work. And generally when someone performs work, they're entitled to wages. So I think it may be difficult to recoup that. But then again, here you've got somebody who was a public official who may not have been qualified to be a public official.
Delagal says law enforcement and prosecutors often claim that ignorance of the law is not an excuse for the violation or crime. He says the same premise applies in Williams' case and believes the general counsel will find that Williams vacated his position when he moved to Nassau County last year.
The danger in law enforcement is always concluding that since I'm a good person, if I'm a law enforcement officer, concluding that since I'm a good person, then all of my decisions must be good, and not evaluating your own actions. And that's a kind of hubris that I think becomes dangerous.
Northside Coalition President Ben Frazier says he expects the general counsel to rule that Sheriff Williams vacated the office last year when he left Duval, saying the sheriff is not supposed to be looking for loopholes in the law, but instead he says the sheriff is supposed to be upholding every aspect of the law.